welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we're going to be showing you how we can connect two separate network using one switch. That is, you have here you have this network A and you have network B here, and they are all predefined. We have the different IP addresses on it. So today I'm going to show you quickly on how you can connect the two network using a single router. So let's not waste our time, let's jump directly into it. So network A is predefined already. We have its own different IP address, and the IP address is 10 and this had 192. So now we have our router here. You can use any routers. I'm using this router in Cisco Packet Tracer, and in the real world you can also do that. You can go online and then type in your router name and use admin, use your password and be able to configure your router. But this I'm going to be doing it in Cisco Packet Tracer. So if you double click here, you see here global settings, and what is going to come to routing, because we want to route data from here to this other end. So if you come to routing here and you click on routing, you will see fast internet port 1 and fast internet port 2 are the one we're going to be using this SSI. So you just have to come, and this portion of your network segment, you would like to take the default gateway here should be the IP address for this port on your router, and this also will be on the second layer. That is the second network here. So you see we have predefined our IP addresses here in these two separate network. So this line, fast internet port 0 will be directly used for this network A, and B will be used for this other end of the network. So now you see up here port status. This is where many of us make the mistake, and it gives us tough time in configuring our router to give us the output. So this switch, these switches that you are seeing here, they are very sensitive, and these port in the router at the back of the router here are very sensitive. These ports you see here are very sensitive. So right now this is on. So if these ports that you see at the back end here, you see 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4. So these ports, as you can see here, if it is not turned on and you connect a cable there, it won't give you the required result. It will show information down here that the port is, when this port is not on from here, definitely you will not succeed in doing what you want to do. You see that it is off. There's an indication that it is down. So when you click here, and that will turn on. If you see down here, is up and running. So make sure that when you are configuring your router in the real world, make sure that in the setting you will have the port being turned on. If the port is not turned on, the information from that you want to get from community A to B won't work because the port is not turned on. So make sure that this port is turned on in your exercise. Make sure that this port is turned on in your exercise. So let's go back and look for cable. So now you see this gateway, I predefined these gateways so that it can make it easy while you're going through this course to see it or through this lecture. It is very simple. So you can also rename the router if you want to rename it, but for me, for the sake of this video, I'm going to leave it on a default. So I actually pick this router from among these router here and place it here. This is not a wireless router, so note that there are other wireless devices here, so I'm not going to use them here. These are all wireless devices. I'm going to use a router that is not a wireless one, that only has to be connected over cable so that you can be able to get what you want to get. So let's go back, come down and find a cable. So you know this on this is on two separate layer in the OSI model. This is data link and switch. So one of them is on, this switch is on different layer, and this is also on different layer. So I think you should know that definitely. So layer 2 and layer 3, data link layer and this layer are two different layers 2 and layer 3. So we'll use a straight through cable to do this exercise. We come and take your cable, connect it to any of these and drag here. We just have these two internet port that is available. You can use either of them. Come back, take this and click here. Use any of these port as you wish. I'm going to use this. So after a few times, you will notice that this will run. Actually, when it is not speeding up, just click here and you see it is connected. Now, before we start to ping, we have to make sure as to whether data can actually travel from one end to the other. So we're going to try this exercise using PDU. The PDU is up here. Just come and take one PDU, drop here and drop here, and let's see the reaction. So if you see down here, it says fails. It means that the configuration has not been completed. So let me see whether I can fast track it again and try this PDU. Successful. So it means that we are not running. So let's try again and see if from this PC to this PC will work. Voila, it's still failing. So we have to do something about it. Let me see. Get rid of this and see again. But it should actually run. So try again. Successful. It means that you can run. Let's try here. This is it's still trying to configure this, but basically that is how it can be done. So the next thing we're going to do now is to ping. We're going to ping from here to here, but before we do that, let me check on this simulation and see whether what we have sent did actually cross. So you see that data link, see now it's moving, coming to the default gateway and to the second switch and go to the destinator machine, and the destinator machine is sending response back to the other machine, the receiving, the sender. The receiver now sending back to the sender that they actually received the data. That is the acknowledgement message is sending right back. So you see, it will go directly to the computer that they did that send the first data. So that is how you can connect your two separate network or two different IP addresses on the same router with a single configuration. So like I said, you have to go into the router interface. If this is in the real world, it means you have to go online, type the name of your router you're going to display, and the default password and admin name is admin, just admin, and the password should be admin. It depends the router you are using to do this exercise. So it will definitely display on your monitor so you can do your configuration. You just go to routing and make sure configure your router. So when it is configured and you get the right cable being connected, your cable is done perfectly and there are data flowing in your cable and the port in the router is actually on, then you will have the data flowing the same way it is flowing here in the Cisco packet tracer. So that is how it will work for you. So next thing we're going to do before we end up this lecture, we're going to ping from network A to network B. So let's do that. So come to desktop, come to the command line. This is the command line here. So we actually want to ping from here to here. So let's try this 192. So firstly, let's ping in. Sorry, we are not in the real world, so let's go back to real time and try to ping again. So come to desktop and let me drag this down so you'll be able to see the demonstration. Here, we're going to ping from right here. We ping 192.168. It depends your IP address that you have in your exercise or in the real world. 168.0.3, and let's see what we're going to get. Not pinging. It's okay. Now it's going through. We send 4 packets and 3 were received, so that means it worked. 1 loss, so it depends. So the one that lost, we can also ping again. I think this time it will go, so let's ping again. Ping the same IP address, 192.168. .0.3. So this time around it should go quickly. So you see now it is moving. So we send 4 bytes, and all of the 4 bytes were broken down into frame, and that frame was received by the other computer in network B. So basically that is how you can connect your 2 separate or batch of computer to a single router to be able to send data from one point to another. So that is it in this exercise. Subscribe to the channel if this exercise is good. Drop your comment and subscribe to our YouTube channel. See you in our next video shortly on Wednesday.